Hi, good evening, everyone. It's Christy from the Baltimore Hampton Elk Ridge Outpost, and I'm coming tonight to give you our women's ministry program. Tonight, we will be talking about Christmas traditions celebrated all around the world. I want you to pause for a minute and think about your own personal traditions. Do you have special things that you do during the holiday time that are unique to you and your family? Do you put the tree up the day after Thanksgiving? Do you take it down the day after Christmas? Or do you leave it up to St. Patty's Day? Do you open presents on Christmas Eve? Or do you open Christmas morning? Everyone has different traditions, and tonight we're just going to ponder some of those traditions. And I'm going to read you about some other countries and some of their traditions. In the Philippines, they have a festival. It's called the Giant Lantern Festival. And there are 11 villages. And those 11 villages get together and they light these lights. They are considered to be the Christmas capital of the Philippines in San Fernando, where all these villages get together and do this. The emphasis is on light and celebrating the light that is coming into the world and the light that led the Magi to the manger, the Star of Bethlehem. In Iceland, there are some mischievous Yule lads, and there's a tradition that is 13 days long, and each night one of the lads visits the house of the children, and the children put their very best shoes out, and if they've been good, they get a nice little gift in their shoe, and if they've been bad, they get a rotted potato. So hopefully you've all been good and won't be getting any rotted potatoes, but that's an interesting tradition in Iceland. In Germany, Nikolaus, not to be confused with Father Christmas, comes on December the 6th. He rides a donkey, and he comes in the middle of the night, and he leaves gifts in children's shoes. I'm not sure what the idea is with all the shoes, but the children leave their shoes out, and he leaves coins and chocolate, or chocolate coins and oranges in the shoes of the good children. And this happens all over Germany. In Australia, it's really interesting. They decorate much like we do, with a wreath on the door, and they decorate their Christmas trees. But Christmas occurs in December, and from December to February, it's the summer months. So it's a very warm Christmas, and a lot of people go camping on Christmas and decorate their house very similar to how we do it here. So now that we've been thinking about all of these things, I want you to think about how we do things here in the United States and why we do the things we do here in the United States. Many of the traditions that we talked about earlier in our postings today come from different countries. I know some of you like to do Christmas lasagna. That's an Italian tradition. But I know a lot of families in our group like to do that. Also, some of our families like to do a Western European tradition, which is ham or turkey with a cranberry sauce. Eastern tradition is turkey with all the trimmings, but also like kielbasa and cabbage, kraut. Those kind of things come from Eastern Europe. Some of our families like to do tamales, and those are from Mexico. So all of us have a few different traditions. One tradition I know that I really like is stringing popcorn and cranberry to decorate the tree. Others of us really like making gingerbread houses or gingerbread cookies. But most of us Christians like to go to church. That's one of our biggest things we like to do on Christmas. Go and celebrate Jesus' birth by singing songs. In fact, some churches have evenings dedicated just to singing Christmas songs. There are so many different traditions, and how we got to them is very interesting. But I want to back up a little bit and think about the traditions that Mary was going to make, and specifically look at the verse Luke 2:19, and that says, Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. You know, we have so many traditions associated with the birth of Christ. But on a day in a stable a really long time ago, there was a young girl. You know, some of us will call her a little girl. And there were no lights. There was not special food. And I just wonder what she was thinking. She had a promise from an angel. And the prospect for the most difficult life you can imagine was real. I wonder if she could honestly grasp the fact that she was going to be the mother of the Messiah. Ponder this for a minute. He was God's son, the Messiah. But he was also her son. He would need diapers. He would need fed. He would need burped. He would need clothing. She had to ponder and understand that every day she was in his presence, it was a miracle. I'm sure she often reflected back to that day when the angel came and told her that she was going to have that baby. That visit made her life so different. On that day, she would learn that she was going to give birth to the very Son of God. Mary held that little baby and nursed that baby. That baby couldn't even hold up his head when he came to her. She would also have to come to terms that this was God, and that his flesh would make us whole. One day, that very real son, her son, would choose to give his body over to crucifixion and be crucified. I'm sure Mary wondered about that too. You know, I don't know that I could put myself in her shoes. She must have been a very special woman. So much of her life must have felt like a dream. As I look back on my Christmases as a family, I think about our traditions, and I love reliving the memories. I can't imagine being Mary and looking back. She may have not known the full implications of what was going to happen in the future, but she did her very best to help that son of hers become a man and be part of our traditions and our celebrations that we're all going to have this season. So this season, take some time to ponder for yourself. Reflect on the miracle that was the baby Jesus. Reflect on God's work in your life. May you be blessed, and I thank you for listening. And I hope to see you all soon. Much love.